Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be explaining what the phrase pay to play really means and how it is ruining the DJ and electronic music industry.
To those who are paying to play,
boy, bye.
Okay, so what is this term pay to play? Well, here's how I view it. Pay to play is when someone has a financial advantage over their potential competitors or other musicians. By that I mean it's someone who can take a gig because they can afford the travel costs, hospitality costs, and even bottle service costs. This is of course if those expenses are not included within the gig, and for most opening DJs like myself, they usually are not. Another major point to mention that is highly frustrating about people who pay to play is those who buy their way up a lineup. Now for someone like me playing locally, I don't have to worry about the travel expenses and hotel costs and things like that. But usually when I'm opening a show, there are 1 to 2 other openers as well. And I could have played at said club about 10 times, played a great set, had all my friends come out, sold tickets, and by the 10th show, I could still be playing the door slot behind someone who's playing there for the very first time just because they spent $1,000 on a table. How am I going to progress when people are buying their way in front of me? And I can promise you, I'm not the only one suffering through this. Like I said in my previous video, for a club gig, I only make about $200. Therefore, I would be losing money if I were to buy a table, and that's just not going to happen. To some of these DJs, that doesn't really seem to matter. They just care about the image and the content that they get for their Instagram page. And they don't really care if they deserve it or not, getting that better slot. They just want that slot so they can show off. But that doesn't have any long-term potential. It's just a shame to the industry and to those DJs themselves. Not to mention a little bit shameful of the clubs to allow this to happen. But I can't necessarily blame them because their main goals really are to sell tables and tickets and make money. So I don't blame them as much, but you can understand my frustration. So I was doing a little research on this topic, and one of the very first links that came up when I typed in pay to play DJs was from a very reputable DJ website called Mixmag. The title of this article was "The Secret DJ: Paying to Play is a Genuine Threat to Dance Music Culture." Now I'm going to read 2 paragraphs that I thought were the most important of this article, and I completely agreed. But whether it's playing for free, paying to play, funding their own trips, or otherwise trading on privilege to smooth their path, DJs who give themselves a leg up aren't just making the business harder for those around them, they're not doing themselves any favors by trying to skip the hard slog and fierce competition that the rest of us have endured and learned from. Because believe me, shortcuts tend to backfire in the long run. Ever wondered why so many bookings in our supposedly youth-led culture are dominated by older DJs? Ever asked why a generation that came up in the last century have such staying power, while many younger models blaze brightly and then burn out? Maybe older DJs have lasted the distance because they cut their teeth at a time when genuine hard work and talent were absolute requirements and the only possible foundation of a career. Paul Van Dyk built his first set of decks himself. Carl Cox got his break rigging up sound systems in Streatham. You couldn't buy your way to the top back then because the business infrastructure didn't exist. So those that managed to make it 20 years ago had to have total dedication and a lot of skill. Now that is where it eats you inside. I have worked my ass off the past 4 years, building connections, building my brand, mastering my craft, developing the necessary skills to be successful in this industry. I feel like opening at these clubs that I've played at, was my peak. I have new and improved production on the way, but with the way business is run, I don't really know how I'm gonna continue to progress, without buying my way in or, just getting extremely lucky. My hard work and dedication and respect and honesty to myself, seem to be disregarded these days, and my abilities and talent don't seem to matter when I'm going up against someone that just has more money or is more willing to spend the money. I have honestly thought about quitting multiple times throughout my career because I was doing so much work to get not a whole lot out. Of course you have to start somewhere, but I just kind of feel like I'm plateauing at this point. I have to be thinking long term here, and If this is how business is run in this industry, I'm not so sure I really want to be a part of it. So those are really all the points I had today, and I'm not here to give a call to action, but more so an informative message to those who are blind and don't really know what goes on within the DJ industry. If you have any questions or feedback, make sure to leave it down in the comment section below. I really would like to hear what you have to say. And make sure to subscribe to this channel because I will be dropping my music video for Glass, which is my next release, this Friday, and the song will also be released on all platforms as well. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait for you all to hear it. But overall, just do better, people.